right, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to our November allotable Microsoft Productivity Power Hour. Next slide. Friendly reminder for all meetings that all meetings are recorded and posted on our community YouTube channel. So if you do not wish to be recorded, please do not come on camera and stay on mute. If you have any questions, please put in the chat. All right, what we cover, we are a Microsoft partner, and we cover Microsoft 365 and Office 365. Those things consist of things like OneDrive, SharePoint, Teams, Microsoft Office, Forms, some Power Apps and automation, and we also do things like Copilot and Power BI. I'm Harry Carter, your host. I'll be hosting you this evening, and we'll be getting a presentation from Nikia Carter. We are authorized, as I said before, authorized Microsoft Cloud Solution Partners located in Washington State. As you can see, there's our credentials right there on the side, MVP, MVP nominee, and many more. Okay, so if you have any questions, please put in the chat. We will be monitoring the chat, and we'll be able to answer the question in the chat. So just put it in there, and we'll see it. Thank you. Next slide. All right, so as we getting started, we need to put in the cloud disclaimer. Microsoft Cloud technology is constantly being updated because it's a cloud solution. It's constantly being changed. It's being updated. Security measures are put in, things like that. So sometimes they move buttons as we moving along. So therefore, if we happen to see something that you see something that's on the slide that may be a little bit different than what we actually show you, just give us the time to figure it out because, like I said, things move. We could have looked at this morning, did a full class on it this morning, and then this evening do a class, and that same button we was working on earlier might have moved that evening. So thank you very much for bearing with us, but we just want to get that disclaimer. Okay, so today's agenda. Keeping track with Microsoft Planner. We've been, over the last couple of weeks, we've took a deep dive using Copilot and PowerPoint to draft presentations. We use PowerPoint to keep track of, Copilot, my apologies. We use Copilot to do a PowerPoint presentation and draft. We use Copilot to actually write proposals. We use also Copilot to create a persona and use that Copilot to do research on potential clients and things of that nature. We went over all the different types of Copilot. We've gone through SharePoint. We've gone through PowerApps and automation. And today we'll be talking about how Microsoft Planner can help you with tracking of the plans and tasks for your teams to help you stay organized. Next slide. All right, so we'll be going into demo in just a few minutes. Nikki will be coming up to give us a presentation on Planner and to be able to pick up where we left off last time on the different parts of the Office 365 suite that can help you stay organized and keep things straight. So without further ado, I'll pass it over to Nikia Carter.
All right, folks. So we're going to go ahead and go into the demo portion to see how we can look at Planner and use it to our benefit. So first, we got to get the Planner in order to use it. But just so you know, Planner is a tool that you can use. It's similar to those of you that know about Scrum boards that keep task lists. Those of you who use Asana and let's see, it's Asana, I forget the other one, but use a task program to help them manage tasks, but not just tasks, plans that are that have tasks assigned to different people so that each person can do their own piece of the plan, but an entire plan altogether. That's what Planner is. It's Microsoft's version of it, and it works very well. So we are going to, again, go into this demo where we're going to talk about Planner, and we're going to use Planner in the hiring process. So to start off, we're going to start in Office 365. This is the home page that you land on. Oops, I'm sorry, that's not the home page, that's the app page. This is the home page that you land on. And then the way you get around is you have to use the apps on the left navigation until you go anywhere else in Office 365. As soon as you go anywhere else, then you'll have the app launcher. That'll be the 9 squares up in the upper left-hand corner that you can click on, and that will give you all of the apps. But because you're on this screen and this screen doesn't have that, the way that you get your apps, if you don't already have them pinned, is you go to Apps on the left navigation, and then you see all the different apps that you have available to you. And you go to any of them, any app you like, hover over it until you see the 3 dots. Then when you click on the 3 dots, you click on the pin at the bottom. Now, as you can see, I've already pinned this, so the only option I have is unpin. When you're looking for things like Planner, it's down here. But a lot of your basics, your email, your OneDrive, your Teams, your SharePoint, some people that like using the apps, the web version of apps, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, OneNote, you get to them here. Same thing with folks that have access to Booking. If you use that a lot, you can pin that to your left navigation. That way you can get to it when you land on this home screen inside of M365. So as you can see, I have Planner already pinned here. So I'm going to click on it, and it's going to open up a new tab. And when I open up a new tab, so I'm in my dev environment, so you don't see a whole lot of plans here. But I do have one that's more fully built out that we'll look at a little bit, but we're going to build one together. The scenario that we're going to use is one that I think is important to a lot of organizations, and that's employee hiring. So trying to hire either a contractor or even an employee, lots of businesses need to do that at some point. And there are, a bunch of different things that you need to keep track of when you're trying to hire somebody. You want to make sure that all the tasks that you have to do for their setting up of their system or whatever it is, that all that stuff's ready, all their assignments, each thing that that you need to do has a deadline to it, and that you also know who is responsible for that task. So we're going to create a new plan. We're going to come down here on the planner screen. And like I said, anywhere else that you go, you'll have the app launcher to get around. But on this planner screen, we're going to go to New Plan. So I'm going to create a new plan from scratch. Now, depending on your license, you may have Basic and Premium. So because of our dev environment, we don't have the more premium license. We only have the Basic. A lot of people will have Basic for M365 Business Basic, M365 Business Standard potentially. But I know Business Basic definitely only has the basic ones. Standard may have premiums, but Business Premium definitely has the premium plans. But this is a good start, especially for those of you who are new. You might not be used to this type of software and technology. So starting from the basics is actually a good one. The basic plan is actually a good one. So we're going to create one from scratch, and then we're going to give it a name. We're going to just name it Hiring Process. Now there's an optional thing down here. Now you notice there's the asterisk right here. That asterisk, anytime you see an asterisk, any color in Office 365, but basically anywhere. You see an asterisk beside a name for something that you got to fill in or choose, it normally means you have to fill it in or choose something. It's required. This one is optional though, and I'm going to show you how you can do this after the fact, but if you already have the Office 365 group or the Microsoft Teams already created where you want this plan to live with the team that is going to be working on these things with you, then you can choose it from the list. So I could choose HR site because that's where this would really go. I mean, it's, you know, an HR process. So I would put it there, but I'm not going to put it there now because I'm going to show you where you can go later and put it in there just in case you don't have a team at that moment. You're just trying to create the plan really quickly, and then you're going to add all your team members later. I'm going to show you how to get to that part. So we have our name. We're going to leave this blank for now, and we're going to click Create. So it's going to start creating the plan, and the plan will have a few different pieces to it. This plan is a blank plan right now. So there's no task in it. There's no buckets. There's only the do bucket. There's the grid view, and I'll show you what these look like when we actually get some stuff in here. The grid view shows you the task in a list type fashion. There's the board view, and that gives you that Scrum board type look and feel for those of us who know about Scrum boards, or if you don't know the name of it, but you've seen people put on a wall a bunch of different sticky notes all over the place, probably sticky notes with different colors, and they put different things that they're doing on each of those sticky notes, and then at the top they have like different categories and they move it across. That's the same thing like this. You could set up buckets like they would set up on those types of scenarios. Then there's a schedule. Again, we'll be able to see this when I get some more data in here. So you can see what this looks like. And then there are the charts that you also get. Again, we'll visit this again as we put things in here. So we have it named the hiring process. It's going to eventually get shared with the HR team, but right now I just want to get all of these tasks in here. So first thing I'm going to do is create my buckets. And my buckets are like the stage in which you're at with these tasks. So for example, typical buckets are in progress, not started, in progress, and completed. But then people also use, in addition to those, also use waiting for approval, waiting for feedback, canceled, overtaken by events, things like that. So there's other different types of buckets that you could put there that make sense for the thing that you're trying to plan out. For this one, we're trying to plan out the hiring process, and so we're going to use the stages of hiring as the buckets. So one of the stages for hiring is the job post. So we're going to put job posting. The next one is you got to screen people, so we're going to put screening. Then the next thing is you got to interview those people, so we're going to put interview. Interviews. And then finally, once you find your candidate and you're ready to give them an offer, you need to give them an offer and then onboard them. So we're going to put these two. Now you could put them as separate, but I'm going to add these as into one bucket. You could have separate buckets. You could have a bucket for offer and a separate bucket for onboarding. But again, putting these two together. So now we have 4 buckets. We have job posting, the screening, the interviews, and the offer and onboarding. And each of these will have tasks that go into it. Now, depending on how you like to put in your tasks, you may put in tasks from here, or you may use the grid view. So I'm going to put in some tasks here from this side first, and then I'm going to show you how it looks if you were to put it through the grid view. So one of the tasks that I would have would be to, whoopsie, I hit the wrong thing, sorry. One of the tasks that I would have would be to write the job description. Oopsie. Okay. Now, the rest of this I could fill in right now, or I could wait. So I am going to wait for right now because you can come back and refill things in. But these are optional to fill in, especially at the moment. Now later, of course, you're going to wait and make sure that you have your due date on here and the person is assigned to so that they get the task in their My Tasks, because this My Task view shows you all your tasks, no matter what plan they're coming from. And then My Plan shows you all the plans that you created or plans that you're attached to. And then My Day just shows you stuff that's for that day, stuff due that day. But we can look at that in a minute. So you could start off without putting the due date in the assigned and just add the task. And then the next one, and it goes up here. I know it's a little confusing. Like I always want to go down here to put in the next one, but it's up here, and then they put the task down at the bottom. So here's the next one, post on LinkedIn. All right, so that's 2 tasks that I have to do. All right, some more tasks. Let's put some more, let's go under screening. And we need to review resumes. Oops. Yeah, review resumes. And then shortlist candidates. List candidates. Under interview, so I'll just do, whoopsie, I must not have, if you don't hit the add task, it will, once you go to another thing, it will just be like, oh, you didn't input anything, and just get rid of it. So you want to make sure that you actually hit the, so it's shortlist, that you actually hit the add task. Shortlist candidates. Whoops, and that's not spelled right. Okay. All right, so now let me go to this one. Just going to add this one, and then we're going to add these on the grid view instead of on the board view. So it's going to be send offer letter, set up workstation. So set up their account or workstation that they need to work at if they're going to work in your office, or set up your accounts and environment if they're working remotely or something like that. But this person obviously is going to work in the office, so you need to set up their workstation. So instead of filling in these, I'm going to go to the grid view so you can see how I can add in the additional tasks. And you can already see how these are filled in, the buckets that they have. Let me add in, oops, did I miss one? Yes, it looks like I forgot to hit the, okay, I'll just add it here. I forgot to hit the add task. So it didn't take. All right. Now, when I add it this way, as you can see, there already, there's already some stuff that kind of just tries to start filling in for me. Now, I can come back to it and fill it in, or since I'm on the line, I could just choose the thing and then change it. So for this one, it's supposed to be in the, oh, wait a minute. No. This wasn't the right one. This is supposed to be under offer and onboarding. So I skipped one by mistake. I could go set the due date. I could set the start date. I can assign who it is that I want to assign. But the key here is that you have to have people that can be assigned. So it has to be added to a group before you're able to assign anybody. Other than that, you won't see anybody to be able to assign. It's just you. So it's just your task list at this point. I could also change, the progress that's going on. I could change the priority, like maybe it's urgent or important instead of just regular, or maybe it's low priority. And I can add labels for those of you that like color labels. So I'm going to keep on going at that one. And then, so I had skipped the schedule interviews. And this one is going to be under interviews. Oops, it didn't even go. Oh, there it goes. Okay, then hit that, enter. All I did was hit the enter key to get it to go in. Then prepare interview questions. Again, sometimes you might do it like this because you want to get all of the tasks out of your head and onto paper first before you, I hate when it does that, before you go and start filling in due dates and who's responsible and all of that. You may want to just get out on paper what tasks that need to be done because you kind of know what needs to be done already. So you want to get it out there. So let me go ahead and enter that. Okay, whoops. Okay, so I got a little bit of a repeat somehow, and that happens sometimes. Again, cloud technology. Also, for some reason, the text didn't show up the first time, but when I went back over it, it like added it again. No worries. All you got to do is go to the three dots on any of the tasks that you want to delete. Go to the three dots and then click on Delete Selected Task. You can also check, or at least you used to. Oh, you can't do it no more. You used to be able to right-click on the side of the task and that opened a menu, but that's not there anymore. Checking the checkbox right here does not delete a task or give you any menu options. Notice that this bar has not changed. All it did was exit out, and basically what it did was mark this thing complete, which it is not complete. So I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm actually going to delete the task. Okay, so now back to where we were. So let me make sure I have everything in here. This is under interviews. Offers, okay, I'm missing one. Send the offer letter is there. Set up the workstation. So I got this in the wrong bucket. This is supposed to be here. Because we should have at least 2 per thing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, now we're all good. All right. So now you might want to start adding some like dates to this and who's assigned. But before we can add who's assigned, as I said before, we have to actually add the plan to a group or the plan to a Teams, which will have the team members in it who would actually be the ones who would work on this with you. So you could create a whole new group by, using this part. Create a new group called hiring process and then add whatever members you want to add. So you just start typing people's names and there you go. And then you just choose as many people as you want and then you create the group. Or you can use an existing group that's already there. So if you choose that, there's a drop down for the existing groups and then you choose which group you want it to be. So I'm going to choose the HR site. And I'm going to hit add. The group is already there. And now the group is added. So I'm going to see some details. There's only one member in here. So we're going to add some members. Because there may have been a time when you created the group or the teams and you're like, oh, I'm going to use this. And then you go do something else and you forget about it. And then you come back to add the plan and then you realize, oh, I forgot to add all the members. So you can come and invite the members through this screen. So I'm going to invite Harry. I'm going to invite Sigel. And let's say Ezra. Oh, maybe they're not in here. Okay. I'm going to invite those people. Those folks will get an email saying that they were invited to this, either it's a group or a team. If it's a group, the email will say that they got invited to this group and this is the stuff that they get. If it's a team, then they'll say, welcome to the teams. You can click on this link to get to the teams. And in the teams, they can have the tab for this plan, which I'll show you how to do that as well. But let's continue on with this plan. All right, so now we have our members in here, and they're all invited. So I can start doing some assignments. So I can say, okay, I'm going to write the job description, and that Azora is going to post it on LinkedIn, that maybe I and Harry are going to review the resumes, and we're going to shortlist the candidates since we're co-CEOs for this company, one of us is going to send the letter, but it's going to be Azora, or if we had like somebody as an executive assistant, even though uh, they can be that in the scenario. Setting up the workstation, we have Sigil do that as the technology officer, have Azora do the scheduling of the interview and the preparing of the questions would be myself and, oh, my eye, myself and Harry, for example. Okay. Now I can start putting some start dates and due dates on this. So it was job posting and then screening and then interviews and then the offer and onboarding. So if we're going to say we're going to start today and have the job post written by, let's say, Friday, and then Monday we're going to post it, and it could just be posted on just Monday. And then we could say for the job screening, the reviewing of resumes is first. So we'll review the resumes, let's say give it like a couple of weeks for folks to submit resumes to the job post. And then we grab all those resumes and we start reviewing them, and we give ourselves maybe 2 weeks to do that review. And then we shortlist the candidates, and we probably give ourselves a week for that. So let's go here and here. And you just keep on scheduling it out until it makes, the whole schedule makes sense. So this is the 8th. Whoops. Oh, I went to the wrong month. Okay. So the 10th, that's what I meant. Oh, not the 10th. No, that was right. That was right. So the 5th of December to finish reviewing the resumes. So then we'll shortlist them between this week. And you have to be careful with this because this doesn't always put you into the next month, even though you're in the next month. You may still be in another month that you didn't mean to be in. So make sure that you're in the right month. And then let's see, so the 8th to the 12th, and then sending the offer letter would be first. So we would say after we did the interviews, actually, see, here we go, schedule the interviews. So that would be between, say, the 12th the 15th of December to, say, this week. Ooh. Then preparing the interview questions, that would have to be maybe during the same week of the shortlisting. So let's see, the 8th of December through the 15th, oh no, the 12th. Okay, and then we made a decision. So we finished the interviews on the 19th. We make a decision and say we send the offer letter out in the new year. So we're going to go to January. They're going to start on the 5th. Or the offer letter will be sent out on the 5th. And then their workstation will be set up on the 5th, but give us a week to set it up. And then they would be starting on the 5th, 9th. Okay. So they would be starting somewhere at time after the 9th. So now that we got all this data in here, let's look at how some of this stuff looks. So you see what it looks like in the grid view. You can move things around. So you can say if you want labels to be down here, you can move it down there. I don't really want it to be down there. Oh, you can also like attach labels. I don't normally do this, but some people love labels. So let's say that posting the job description, let's say that's red. maybe all the job posting stuff is red, all the screening stuff is green or something like that. So you could put different labels in here. You can also use the filtering capability. Well, actually, this isn't filtering. It's just sorting. So you can use the drop downs next to the thing that you want to sort on. So if you want to sort priorities, ascending or descending, which they're all the same, so it's not really sorting anything, you can choose that. And then when you choose one and you want to get rid of it, you go back to that same place and you clear the sort. So ascending and descending on all those. When you look at the boards, this is what it looks like on the board. Oh, let me actually make one of these things, these two things in progress. Well, actually, let me make this thing not started. Let's say it's completed. Somebody is being extra ahead of schedule on stuff. So I'm going to mark a few things in different ways. Okay. So now that I marked one completed, you see on the board, it was up here at first, but now it's under the completed task under the bucket that it's in. If you look at the schedule will show you the different things that are planned for each time frame. And then you can also, oh, that is not even there. Okay. But you can add extra tasks through this as well. And then you can usually see, but for some reason it's not working right now, when you click on the drop down, be able to see the actual tasks that are related in each area. And then there's the charts, which shows you the status, the buckets, the priorities, and the members who have different things, like who's late on how many tasks, who has how many tasks complete. And I'm a superstar, so I got something completed already ahead of time. Actually, I got it completed today, so there's that. All right. Let me go back to the grid view. You also have filters on the grid view. So if you wanted to filter by, say, the due date of things that are late or due today, or the priority of things that are important, or maybe low priority, or maybe labels that are green or red, or progress that is started, in progress, completed, or the bucket per whatever bucket it is that you want to go to, or if you want to just see, maybe all the tasks assigned to you and somebody else. You can filter those things out like that. And then when you want to get rid of it, you just click on the clear. Okay. Now you can always change this thing. Where is this thing? Change the members that you want to add by clicking on the share. And when this invite members comes up, because you already chose the site, you can't, move it to a new site, but you can add new members if you need to add new members from here, if you realize somebody is missing. Okay. All right, so we looked at all the different views and all of that stuff inside of this plan itself. There's one more thing here that I didn't go, well, actually a couple more things that I didn't go through. That's the plan details and this drop-down list of stuff. So the plan details allows me to see the plan, rename the plan if I want to, and I can put a background on this plan. So say, for example, I don't know, maybe I want to snazz it up with that. I can add that as a background. As far as the group name is here, and I can only change it for whether I want it to be private or public, but I can't really change the group, as you notice. There's no, I can only, change the name, but I can't change the group. I can't say that I want this to be a new group. It'll still be the same HR group. You just changing the name of it. I can also delete the group and then start over. Now, if I delete the group, then I have to add a new group in order to assign people, because once I delete it, it's going to remove all these assignments. All right. I'll just show you again, well, what I was saying earlier. It's not really again, but these views right here, and then we're going to see how we can pin it into Teams, and we'll talk about Teams and Planner for a second. All right. So as I was saying before, my plans are all the plans that I created or are shared with me. And I can see, you know, if it was shared, even if I shared it, because this is a plan that I created, but I shared it. Another plan I created, I shared. And these are some ones that I created, but I didn't share with anybody. Then you can also see who it's shared with. So these are different, either Office 365 groups or teams. Graham is an actual Teams that has a SharePoint site connected to it. Same thing with the HR site, and the same thing with the retail sales. They all have SharePoint sites. They're Teams instead of Office 365 groups, and they have SharePoint sites connected to them. When I go to my tasks, oh, sorry, let me go back here for a second. Forgot to explain this. I can, if I have a whole bunch of plans, I can search based on what I think the plan name is. I can filter based on if it's a recent plan, if it was shared with me, if it's only personal to me, if I pinned it, and if it was recommended to me. You pin by just hovering over, going back to recent, where all the plans should show. You can even click on show more if you have more plans here than are showing. And then you hover over whatever plan you want, and you click on the little pin to pin it. There's also the three dots here. Whenever you see three dots, there's always a menu. So this one opens it in a new window, the plan. This allows you to rename the plan. This helps you to pin the plan, which is the same thing as that. You can hide the plan, and you can also copy a link to the plan and give that link to somebody, but they have to have access to it in order to be able to use that link and get to the plan. Other than that, they'll just have the link, which won't take them anywhere. I'm just going to check the chat window and see if there are any questions. Okay, don't see any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and continue. The tasks, these tasks are tasks that are coming from all types of places. So this one is coming from charity fundraiser. This one's coming from hiring process. And you could tell where they come from because they have their headers. But these are all the tasks that are assigned to me across the different plans. And then, like I said, my day will show the task, any tasks that you put in here that are due today. So 0 tasks are planned for today that are due today. So I don't have anything here or on my board to see. All right. So now let's talk about, we talked about having the plan. We created a plan. We see how we can, you know, modify the plan, how we can get data out of the plan. We can export the plan to Excel. You saw that as well. So you can export it out and share it with folks. But it would be best if you just share it in place. That way, any changes that are made, everybody gets to see those changes. That's on the team. If you export it to Excel and then you share it that way, if somebody goes in and makes a change, it is not going to change that Excel that was exported. That Excel that was exported was a snapshot of the data in the time in which it was exported. So there's no live links back to the live data. So if somebody makes a change to a task, that will not go into the spreadsheet. It will just show you what was there when you took that export. So you may want to make sure that you're actually having conversations around these plans and such. So you would use Teams for that. So let's go and look at Teams. I just went back to my Office 365 homepage and I'm clicking on the Teams there. I could have gone to the app launcher, but I didn't think about it for some reason. And then click on Teams there. And once Teams opens, then you'll be able to see all the different teams that you have available. Some of the teams like the HR site and the other plan that I created while this is coming up. I'll just go ahead and show you. There was another plan that I also created for fundraising, charity fundraising. And this one is connected to, let's see, this one is connected to the company Miriam Graham, the teams that are set up to discuss this company. Okay. Ooh, team's still taking forever to get up here. Funny, I opened this earlier, but sometimes when you close it and you leave it closed for a while, it takes a minute to come back up for some reason. But here we go. All right. So HR team, let's see. So under my teams and channels, I'm on the chats tab of my teams. And this looks the same whether you're in the desktop version or you're in the browser version. Now, you could have the old look and feel where you have chats and then you have teams and then you have calendar. But if you just have chat, then your teams and channels will be under chats. If you have chat and teams, then you go to the teams tab that will be over here under chat, and then you will see all your teams. Okay. Now, I'm going to click on see all teams so I can see all of my teams that are here. Okay. Oh, actually, that HR thing, the HR site is actually a group, and that's why I'm not seeing it here. But the Miriam Graham one is here. So I'm going to use this one as an example. I'm going to switch over to that charity fundraising example and use Miriam Graham as an example since that was connected to that team. The other one was the Office 365 group, so there's no Teams chat or anything connected to it. It's just the email address. And a grouping of the folks together so that everybody gets notification when certain things happen, like assignment of tasks, or certain people get notifications for certain things, and then sometimes all people get notifications in that team for certain things as well. But since Miriam Graham is one, and I already set up the plan for it, we'll go ahead and use that. So actually, let me go this way. What I did was click on it, and that took me to the settings for the entire Teams itself. What I really need to do is go to one of the channels, like Miriam Graham channel or the contractor group channel, which also shows up on the left navigation. You click on see all channels. Oh, now it doesn't expand it anymore like it used to. When you used to click on that, it would expand it on the left navigation at the same time as showing you this pane here. But now it only shows you the pane. It doesn't expand it anymore. Okay, so I'm going to go to the Miriam Graham channel. In this channel, we just have posts, shared. The page may be going to a SharePoint page and notes, but we're not going to worry about that for right now. What this is going to. The notes is going to OneNote notebook. Shared is also could be named files instead of shared, depending on what version of Teams that you're in at the moment and what rollout you got at that moment. And then you also see posts. The plus symbol, this is where we're going to add that plan to the teams so that we can have conversations around the plan in the place that we're having conversations about this customer in the first place. So say this customer is a nonprofit, we'll help them with the fundraising. So we're going to add the fundraising plan here. Now the cool thing about Teams is not only can folks join, or you can have folks join the conversation who are part of your company, but you can also invite folks who are external. So, you know, if it's a nonprofit, inviting your volunteers, inviting your sponsors, inviting your leadership and everybody internal, of course. If you're a company that maybe is like a contractor and you work with other companies, invite all those subcontractors in to have a conversation around the client that you're working on. So this can be a very powerful tool, especially merged with things like adding in plans and things like that to help everybody stay on track. So I'm going to go to the plus, and then I'm going to add an app. An app I'm going to add is going to be Planner. I clicked on the planner, And then it's going to ask me, do I want to create a whole new planner or do I want to connect to a plan that's already there? So first I'm going to save the tab. So setting the tab is going to be there. Then I'm going to get asked the secondary question about what I want to display there. So now it's like, do you want to create a new plan or do you want to add an existing plan? I'm going to add an existing plan that's already there. I get this drop down and I can choose the plan. Now, if you notice, there's only one plan here, and that's because this plan is the only one attached to this group. If we had several plans attached to this group, but they weren't showing in the, it's showing in the teams. They were attached to the teams. So if we had multiple plans attached to the teams, but they weren't showing in the teams, then we would have more listed here. But because we only have one plan that's attached to this one teams, we only see the one plan to be able to choose from. Even though I have a whole bunch of other plans, it's not attached to this team, so you can't see it until you attach it. So this is attached. I can see it, and I'm going to choose it. And I'm going to say add to the channel. And now you see the fundraiser, the planner tab changed to say fundraiser, just like it said before. And it defaults to the board view, but you can see that I can switch to the grid view, the schedule view, the charts view. I can group things and filter things and all the things that I could do in the other one. Let me go to here. The full version of it, the full version of the plan. I also have the drop down to be able to do a few different things like export to Excel, view the plan details. Okay, so that's how I can add it in, and then I can go to post and I can say, talking about this task in this plan, and then have my conversation in Teams. But we can go further into Teams perhaps the next time. I'm going to go ahead and close out, but the last thing before I do, because I just realized I forgot to do this, is whenever you hover over any of these lines, I did talk about the three dots. So being able to move the task, you can move it up and down. You can copy the task, so it'll create a new copy of it. You can open the details, which is what I'm about to show you. You can delete the task. You can copy a link to the task. But again, the person has to have access to the plan in order to get to the task. And you can click complete task. The open details, this gives you access to be able to add more details that I nearly forgot to tell you about. So here's the name. This is what plan it's attached to. This is the person it's assigned to, the label. I have our buckets, my progress, my priority, all of that. But here's where I can add notes, like book the venue. We would like the venue to be in, blah, blah, blah area, but this area of blah, blah, blah is also okay, or something like that. Whatever text that you need to put in here. You can also add a checklist. So you could say booking the venue will be call venue A, call venue B, call venue C, make choice, pay venue, or something like that. So as the person is working on the task, Harry is working on this task, he calls venue A, he comes in and checks that. He calls venue B, he comes in and checks that off. And then he can change his progress. Well, right now it's in progress, but if it was not started, he could change that and whatnot. And then he can add comments. So it could say, I called venue A and blah, blah, blah. And then send that comment. The comment will come as an email to everybody that has access to this task. But they're also kept down here in the task, so anybody who has access to the whole plan can also come in and look at the task and see the comments here. And the last thing is you can add attachments to each of these things. So if there's things like maybe the flyer for venue A and, or maybe the company brochure for the venue B, price lists for the venues, you can attach those here. All right. So that is basically all I have on that. As I said before, Planner is a tool that is included in your Office 365 subscription that many people don't know is there, and they're using and buying other things that Office 365 already covers with Planner being in the Office 365 subscription. So you want to make sure you know all the tools that you have available to you so that you don't buy things that you don't need to buy for no reason. So in conclusion, just remember that Planner streamlines your task management. It gives you visual tools like the buckets and the boards to help you be able to put things together. And depending on whether you like a more list view because you're more text driven or you're more picture driven, so you like the board view, it helps with supporting the collaboration of folks working together, knowing who's where and what tasks they're on, how much they've completed so far and things like that. It offers different views, so you have your boards, your charts, your schedules, those different types of views. Of course, it's in Office 365 and it integrates with workflow processes that can be built in Office 365 to even further expand the plan. It's suitable for almost every business need. There's lots of different plans that every business owner is doing every day, even if it's just them by themselves. You make checklists, you make plans to do certain things, and this planner can help you even as an individual, even if you don't have anybody else, you can create plans where you're just following those plans to help you stay ahead and on track. Or with your team, even if the team members are external. And it's suitable for the small business, so it could start with the one person and then expand out. And that's it for me. I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Harry.
All right. Thank you for that, Nakia. That was very enlightening. I didn't know Planner could be used in so many verticals in so many different ways. This is very impressive. Thank you very much for that. Are there any questions? Okay, we have none in the chat. Well, to wrap up our journey today, we want to remember that Planner streamlines tasks. It supports collaboration. It offers multiple views. It integrates well with Microsoft 365. It's suitable for various businesses needs and it's flexible to start small and grow with your team. So it doesn't matter what size business you are, if you have a plan, then it works perfect for your company. Uh, okay, so we have different promos that are coming up that we want to promote. So next slide. Okay, so we have our small business package and startup package. This is based for small businesses that want to be able to take advantage of things like Planner, which you learned today. If you feel as those things can help you with your business, help you grow. This is a small pack. This is a package specifically for you. We have some packages that starts at low as $4.99 a month. $4.99 and $99 a month. Up to ones that are $1,400 down and $299 a month. This plan includes full integrated growth and training as well as building out your system over time. So it doesn't cost you a lot of money to be able to put things up front. It allows you to build it out slowly, adapt to it, and grow in the different direction you need it to go in. Next slide.
Yeah. So basically, we provide these services to help you grow, and that's why you're seeing the price points there. I think we already asked about questions. I'll just.
So thank you very much for attending our Alignable event this month. We look forward to seeing you next month. Feel free to reach out. Here are our QR codes and our LinkedIn and as well as our website. We'd love to reach out, hear your thoughts, or just to be able to sit down, collaborate, and see how we can help you to be able to use your tools more effective. So thank you very much. And with that, we end this session.
All right. Thanks, everybody. See you next month.
And